And I love getting to watch Shokio play. Like, this is something I feel like a few times we've seen it happen in, like, Winners Round 2, right? And then things kind of go crazy. But Shokio is one of those players where being, like, a long-standing player, right? Like, he's been around for a few years. I feel like he gets better as tournaments go on. Like, he doesn't run out of stamina that quickly.
No, yeah, and his recent recommitment to Sheik has brought it out. I mean, we were talking about earlier how Fox found his soul character with DDD. He's been performing way above his, like, usual placings ever since.
With a worse character than the other ones that he's tried before,
Exactly. When you find these soul characters, you want to find out everything about them. And maybe it just takes a couple of, you know, good placings to be like, I can do this.
And honestly, when you do find your soul character, everything feels so much more winnable.
Exactly.
Because instead of just sitting there and going, oh man, this sucks, this is a really bad matchup or something, you go, okay, but what are the ways in which I can win? And then you really go for it. So we'll have to see what Shokio's figured out for the Falco as we go to Town and City for Game 1. We're getting pretty much a classic Melee matchup right here, so this is going to be fun to watch.
And this is not a bad matchup for Sheik either. I mean, I've seen some Shokio go against some Steve and some Rob and some Yoshi, but this one, not to that level.
Falco's a bit different than he's been in past titles, particularly where Shokio's been familiar, right? Games like Melee. However, are some similarities to draw too, right? Still trying to approach with not the best horizontal range, loves to combo vertically. Shokio definitely must have some sort of inkling as to how he wants to tackle just how a Falco wants to open you up, but Chef is doing just that right now, getting the game back to even after it looked like it was Shokio's game for the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, and Falco is combo food, so, you know, some of those things that Shokio works on, maybe in training room, it's going to be working pretty nice here.
See, Chef back to center stage, though, and not committing to anything too big. And I like seeing that in a Game 1 from Chef in particular, because sometimes he goes, man, it's Game 1. I want to try to have fun. I'm going to go in and try to get my big things started. But when he exercises that discipline, he goes from being a very fun player to watch to a very scary player to watch.
Yeah, both of them really not hard committing to anything, too.
I mean, that's the beauty. Shokio almost never has to hard commit to much, and boy, getting a lot of mileage out of these drag down combos lately as a player, and even in the tournament today.
For sure.
He has just been crisp with that combo game.
Yeah, and I've seen him do it to, I think he had a really close set recently to Cosmo. Went for it all right there with that bouncing fish, but nearly missing it.
Yeah,
But
Chef.
as soon as you can take Chef's stock, you take it right back.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
He'll kind of save those bursts of momentum for when he really needs it, and always keeps himself in a game. But Shokio going for big stuff on this platform. I'm loving the resets that he's taking, right? Not going, oh, it's not a true combo, I've just got to, you know, deal with it and try and hope for something. Like, no, he gets really nice reset situations, waits for his opponent to choose something, and then hits back strong.
Yeah, a lot of option coverage from Shokio. Knowing if he dares there, he could still immediately react and do something else, keep up that pressure.
And it just, again, he's playing so well when he plays smooth and consistently, right? Not giving his opponent too many big openings. And like you said, no big commitments on either side because Shokio hasn't been giving them, so Chef can't respond with anything big in return. And with no jump, Shokio's chasing him all the way. It was phenomenal DI by Chef to stay alive, though.
Yeah. You do not want to be crossed up with that. Sometimes you pick the wrong DI, all of a sudden you're dead at like 110.
Yeah. And on Town, man, against Falco, you better believe that almost anything can get the kill right now, and Shokio's still working for it. I mean, Falco has exited some of those raw combo percents, and a raw move like that down tilt is enough to do it for Chef. He's able to play with the lead, not too much with the rage gone. Shokio's got a path back into the game, but man, they've been even on stocks whole way through.
Yeah, we're talking about Chef being able to retaliate so fast. Shokio can do it just the same. And we just start off in Town. This is not the first time I've seen this tonight where we're not going to PS2. We're immediately going somewhere different.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've tried to tell everybody in this region, no, you know what, I'm going to ban.
Yeah.
Even if we end up going to PS2, I'd just rather ban. Because it's nice to see what happens. And for Shokio, what's happening, it's a whole lot of fire. Does not get the edge guard, committed a little bit too early, but still keeps up the damage. Chef firing back, though, with some big numbers of his own.
Yeah, I mean, these characters are so fast. These reversals just happen in an instant, and you're like, wait a minute, Shokio's a disadvantage now?
Yeah.
He just got grabbed.
The reversals have been crazy from both of these players. Nice air dodge to the platform by Chef. Not going to let Shokio get anything big, so of course he's going to try to stick it back to the neutral. Big commit back on stage, but those tall ceilings keep him alive for a moment yet.
Yeah, Yeah, Shokio's going to be fishing for that. I mean, Chef's going to be fishing for that down tilt. One of his good kill moves. It doesn't matter how long he's going to do it. It's just such a good poking tool.
I mean, and it's so stale at this point that it's not going to take the stock unless he gets a grab or something. And Shokio tuning into that with a great parry to give himself a ledge trap. Chef, though, no combo off of the Phantasm.
Oh, you got to kill him right here.
No way! This is the Sheik problem sometimes, man. If you don't have the confirms, it's tough, but Shokio finally getting that down smash he needed. And honestly, I think that was by design. That whole sort of 30, 40 seconds near the end of that game, he just kept resetting, not to neutral, but into scramble situations where Chef kind of has to commit to something. He doesn't have big hitboxes that cover all around him, right? He has to pick a particular direction, and as long as Shokio keeps playing that safe, eventually he's going to get something that he can punish with, like that down smash. So just excellently played to give him that game one. Game two, Chef is going to be playing with his counter pick of small battlefield.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of that set about AZ and Cheeks. You know, they've played very low middle stakes, kind of just reset over and over, and it wasn't until they got to the end where they're both kind of like, all right, let's get in the scramble situation and see who wins out on top.
Well, and those two in particular, AZ and Cheeks, like I think of those guys as not actually having that great of a combo game or a super huge punish game, but what they do have is some of the best neutral of anybody you'll find in the region.
Yeah.
And so you watch a set like that, and it's just going to be 20 minutes of grinding adaptation back and forth, right? And this has kind of been a good mix of both. We've seen that there have been a couple of drop combos, sure, but also a bunch of really nice adaptations. Shokio, Nair's not disjointed enough to deal with that Firebird, so Chef's got control.
Yeah, that Firebird's deceptively, like, there's been times where I try to dare it with Ganon Dare and it whiffs somehow, and I get hit off stage. I'm like, this move is crazy. You're
playing Ganondorf, man, which is a struggle, but it's also a struggle for Shokio right now. Chef's playing a lot more evasively than we saw in that game one, and Chef is really tough to play against when he starts to focus on that defense. And when he starts going, okay, well, I can't approach you that well. I can't believe he crossed up on that. I'm sorry, I totally derailed my train of thought because apparently finishing Sheik's rapid jab can cross you up. I've learned something today.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, too. We're seeing a different approach from Chef. He's not going for a lot of these like combos that are getting him in disadvantage. He's going for some reads, you know, trying to read where he air dodges to, trying to see where he goes.
And it's given him some really good success, right? Especially because, again, like with punishing Sheik, that's more or less a myth. Adam Savage would not be able to find a way.
Yeah.
And so at 101%, Chef has all the more the reason to just say, hey, make one mistake and I will blow that up as long as I am ready. And that up smash is certainly enough to do it. It's a 2-stock to 1 lead. And Shokio's just still getting bopped.
Yeah. What a response from game one. We went from like back to answers.
Oh.
We're going to Chef just pulling way ahead.
There is no final exam. You will fail this class. As if that's a bragging point for any professor worth their salt. But Chef, he's no professor. He's a cruel man.
Yeah. Getting caught again by these side Bs. They've been working really well for Chef. And sometimes you just do it.
Yeah.
Just do back air and... Look, if you're spinning your arms and they run into your spinning arms, it's not on you.
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
That's their problem, right? Never approach a horse from behind, a bull from the front, or a fool from any direction.
Yeah, exactly.
And in that case, you approach the fool. He kept throwing out the back air, and you decided, okay, but what if I got in?
Okay, why does that burger look perfect in Disco's hand? Like, the way the bacon was sticking out.
He's looking at us like when Jorma ate that burger, and he was like,
look at
the burger.
That's a nice looking burger.
Man, if only we had a sponsorship with that particular burger company.
I will not give you any free clout.
Perfect bite and smile by Disco Bunny.
Yeah.
Love to see it. But we'll have to see more than perfection from Shokio as he runs it back to small battlefield. And honestly, I don't think that the stage was at all the problem. I think that for Shokio what happened is Chef got the lead. He started being able to play defensively, play with momentum, and Shokio felt like he had to approach. And I feel like when I watch Shokio, when he goes on the offensive, the timing can be predictable sometimes. And it's when he has you on the back foot that he's able to really take advantage of the mistakes that you make. So for him, the key is going to be to get out to the lead as he's done and stay there.
Yeah. Especially because Chef and Falco have much more of a playbook on their combos than Sheik does.
She's a very custom character, one of the only custom characters in this game, right, when it comes to that punish game. And that's where Shokio likes to live, right, is give himself a little bit of freedom to go for something that he understands this character intuitively. So go for something big like that with the bouncing fish, cover the high phantasm, and now, as we talked about before, if he plays with a lead, he might just be able to run away with it.
Yeah, and it was a good call there. That move is good, but if you hit it on startup, they're dead. Especially with how light Falco is.
Oh my gosh, man. Shokio has been making such good use of that down air, too. I love the way that he's been taking it in moments where Chef feels like he's got all the momentum in a particular moment, and he does hit that DI mix-up with that up. Not that the mix-up would have mattered. It's small battlefield. Shokio was dead anyways, but...
Yeah. Sheik is light, too, on top of that.
Yeah.
Tough call.
But now, that's really key for Chef to get this back to, I mean, it'll pretty much be even once he is finished with his plate right now, and in fact, may just take the lead. Shok fighting his way back on with that forward air. No tech chase, though. A little bit too committal looking for the jab reset, and now Falco by the hands of Chef turning things around.
Yeah, I saw Chef just do up tilt, up smash. Kind of a weird option, but hey, if it's working for you, by all means.
And guaranteed damage, right? When you've got, you know, a little bit of percent on you, you want to make sure that you hit your combos. Why not go for something that's guaranteed? And then you get a juggle afterwards, too. And Falco loves that. Oh!
The second bouncing fish of the game, taking that stock.
And that one was more or less confirmed, right? And if it didn't confirm, it was a frame trap. But Chef says, quit talking about him. It's Chef time, baby. It's Falco Friday. We're on last stock, and the next one gets to go to winner semis.
Yeah, and you do not want to go to losers. We already named who's there, and you do not want to be one of those names there.
Literally, Johnny and Yanni are both already there. You don't want to fight against us, particularly not if you're a guy like Shokio.
Yeah, Cheeks too, on top of that.
Yeah.
Ooh, scary. Simon.
Oh, but Shokio, he will be taking a trip to that loser's bracket full of sharks as Chef stays above board. Puts himself into winner's semis with an excellent clutch, and just, I think by the end of that set, very comfortable with that combo game. And again, keeping Shokio on the back foot where he felt like he had to swing back. And again, well, once Chef has sort of a read on your timing, he's all good.
Yeah, especially because sometimes Sheik is so slippery. So you're like, oh, these combos are going to come out.
You can't see it, but Disco is just off
Poking
camera
at the
over there,
screen.
and he's literally just poking on camera Thrillho. He's doing this right now.
He's scratching.
We're
into
actually
the
in
chin.
sync. That's scary.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
But
I
yeah,
don't like
so
that.
it's
Take
so
it away.
hard because, you know, he's such a combo character, Chef, comboing Sheik, but Sheik is so slippery that you kind of like, is this going to work? Is this going to work? But right there towards the end, caught to Shokio's tempo. It was getting those Chef combos, and we were talking about who's going to go to losers, and he's like, okay, I just sent Shokio there. Or, I just sent Shokio there.
And honestly, like, it's great to see Shokio playing like that, though, because it really feels like he's one